Good morning from Glasgow. I hope you are well. Today is the 28th of March 2026 and this is the I Ching reflection of the day. My name is Hannah and I'm happy to have you here. And I hope this reading is going to be of benefit to you as well as for me. So as usual, we're starting by grounding ourselves into the present moment, leaving the past behind and leaving the future in the future. So you're rooting down in the surface below, whether you're sitting down, standing up, or lying down. If you're sitting on the chair, place your feet underneath on the floor in front of you, connecting to the surface below. Feel like you have tree roots growing out of your feet. And this is whether you're standing up or lying down or sitting. And then feel how they are growing downwards deep into Mother Earth below us, connecting deeply, deeply. And as you breathe in, the stomach expands and your spine rises towards the sky. And as you breathe out, you relax down, feeling heavier. But you are not collapsing. The spine remains rising towards the sky. It's almost like it's hanging from a silk thin thread from the heavens above. Crown point towards the sky. And you're breathing in and out through your nose. Into the stomach, they're expanding with each breath in and contracting with each breath out. So we're taking 3 cleansing breaths, and we're doing this by first emptying our lungs out fully. And then we're breathing in through the nose, breathing in fresh chi, fresh air. And then breathing out through a pinhole through your lips, creating resistance as we are breathing out. It's like you're blowing out those straw. And then you're breathing in through the nose, fresh chi, fresh air. And breathing out the past and breathing out the future. And then breathing in the present moment, feeling your spine rising into the base of your skull. Crown point towards the sky, and then breathe out what no longer serves. Continue breathing in and out through your nose, feeling the stomach expand and contract with each breath in and out. So stay present there, and I will draw the hexagram. So what are the energies around us, and how do we best navigate them in order to have the most smooth and joyous way forward? Heaven, earth, fire, water, thunder, windward, mountain, lake. So we have heaven. It's coming back here. Kyan below, so heaven within. And then the outer one. How are the energies around us, and how do we best navigate them in order to have the most smooth and joyous day forward? Heaven, earth, fire, water, thunder, windward, mountain, lake. So we have earth above heaven. So that's the opposite. Heaven is usually above earth. Earth, which is kun. Good. And then let's see where we are in the process of this hexagram and what is the changing. So it's the 3rd. Let's have it actually. I need to do that. Kun above is all yin and kyan below, which is all yang, and the changing line is the third 9. Which means we got earth, kun, above lake, dui, which is, and then the enegua, or what's hidden, the cause, sort of yang yin yin, yang yin yin. So we got thunder over lake. So kun again, which is 11. And then we have Kundui, which is 19. And then we have Chen and Dui, which is 54. And I do apologize about my pronunciation, because I don't speak any Chinese, fortunately, any Chinese language. So advance, it's the main energy at the moment, advance. Speaking about moving forward. Advance, tie, and then let's have a look at the elements. Earth. 19, approaching, which is Earth, and then 54. Marrying Maiden. Have a look at that. Yes, marrying Maiden. Which is wood. It's growing upwards. So first look at the cause, or what sort of what has brought us to this point, right? The hidden energies that we don't quite often see. We sort of tend to be blind to what brought us to the point that we are, right? And this is marrying Maiden. And this could seem like a very auspicious, a very good time, but marrying Maiden is speaking about not the first wife, but the second wife. Like in the olden days in China, there would have many wives, right? And the first wife would be the leader of the household, right? And any wife that came after her would be subordinate. So, and this is speaking about Maiden, right? Marrying Maiden. So this is not the first wife, it's the second wife. And it is also speaking about this, we need to remain humble and not being able to move forward. And actually a second wife, or we're in a subordinate situation. So we're not been able to move forward, and trying to move forward has not been very successful. And that's the situation that we have. We might have tried to move forward, but have sort of been blocked by often it is ourselves that blocks ourselves, right? Our belief structure and all these kind of things. But it could also be outer circumstances that have blocked you. And this is because we have been here, but there's not been very favorable to move forward. Although the guidance have over throughout the day has been to take little steps. And maybe we're not listened to it because we've been guided to take small steps, like take a step, reevaluate, and then plan next step, and then reevaluate. And maybe we've been trying to move forward too quickly and then been hitting a wall or a blockage. Or maybe it's just the impatience that we feel within, that we feel like it doesn't feel like we're moving forward at all, although we are. Right? Because many times when things are changing, we are actually noticing. We're not noticing them in the moment because it's going so slowly. It's only when we look back that we see, oh, hang on, I actually made great progress and it brought me to this point. And that's the sort of the situation that we are in now, right? And it's led up to this point. So what we are being guided to do now is Thai advance. And Thai is one of the most auspicious words in the Chinese language. More than almost. And it's also speaking about being more than great, and also speaks about peace, safety, security, and good health. And also progressing and proceeding, advancing. And this is now because we've sort of been a little bit blocked up until now. We are now being guided to advance here again. And if you look at the actual hexagrams, we've got kun, earth above, heaven below. And that seems like that could be the wrong, right? Because heaven should be above earth. But in this case, actually, because kun has got a descending energy, in heaven, Kian has got an ascending energy. It means that they meet and unite. So this is actually very auspicious. It's speaking about uniting within and uniting with the people around you and finding harmony with everyone under this sky, right? Here's on the image here, it's like a person spreading out their arms and enveloping all living beings, okay? So let's have a look at the decision. Advance, the little is departing, the great is arriving. Good fortune, prosperous and smooth. And advance, the little is departing, the great is arriving. Good fortune, prosperous and smooth. Heaven and earth unite. All beings come into union. The upper and the lower link, their wills are the same. And here we're speaking about the inner is yang, the outer is yin. So the outer, like the upper, is yin. The inner is strong, the outer is gentle. So we have like a strong core. So this is what we're being guided, like being strong within but gentle without, as we are advancing. The inner is superior, the outer is the inferior. And thus the way of the superior is expanding. So we are developing our interior, like the truth of us, right? And then dimming the exterior. Like the exterior, it's sort of decreasing, right? It's shrinking, and the exterior has no real value, really. Like, that's maybe taking it a little bit far, but it's actually the interior, the truth of who we are, the sincerity, the consciousness, that's the truth of who we are, that has any true value. What's going on without is many times just illusions, and it is created by our karma and other things, right? So it's saying that we're actually growing within, we're growing greater wisdom, and we're going to take and actually continue developing this. This doesn't happen automatically. Well, sometimes we go through shocking experiences, and through that we are developing wisdom, right? Because we get to know, we learn things through that. But also there's something we constantly have to work on to actually develop this inner core of us, So when we are in peace and harm and feeling peaceful and harmonious and loving and compassionate within, when this is true, the truth of who we are, well, this is what we are presenting without as well, right? This is what we're sharing with the world. So heaven and earth are moving together in image of advance. In correspondence with this, the ruler gives full play to his ability and wisdom to complete the Tao of heaven and earth and assist a suitable arrangement to influence people. So advance, obviously from its name, is saying, okay, now is the time to move forward, because we have developed ourselves. We worked on ourselves so much now. So now is the time to move forward with whatever is new, right? With this strength and this inner call and what we've learned, with the wisdom that we've developed, right? So time is to move forward, because the inferior us, like the one that was, would lash out or and not see clearly and, see less clearly, right? Let's put it that way, because we probably still have lots of veils, right? But the one that maybe didn't have control over ourselves and saw things in a much more dark way, or would react to things that were going on around us, that person has sort of shrunk. And what's emerging from this is this more person who's living more from the heart and have more control over themselves and have a different approach to life, right? A much more mature approach to life. Yes, so have a look at the changing line, which is the third 9, and no plane without undulation, no path without return. In hardship, being steadfast and upright, no fault. Grieve not over your sincerity and truthfulness. In inheritance, there is happiness. No past without return. Let's have a look at that. The solid line at the third place has reached the uppermost position of the lower gua. According to the law of nature, after things proceed to the upper limit, they begin to decline. Thus the Yao text gives warning that there is no plane without undulation. There is no past without returning. Be upright in hardship. Prosperity comes through sustaining. I sort of feel I get this reference to the number 24, I think, is return. I think it's number 24, which is return. And it's like we need to return to ourself, like the truth of who we are, right? Underneath all these layers of obscuration. And from there's like absolute sincerity. And from there we can live in absolute sincerity, and then we can stay upright when things becomes difficult, and then and things will become prosperous or good fortune, or things will work out when we keep on sustaining, like constantly working on this, on ourselves, and sustaining this state that we have come to, right? All the hard work that we've done, all the work we've done on ourselves. And then we keep on sustaining this. It's so easy to fall away and go back to our old ways, right? And this is not what it's talking about. We need to sustain whatever we've come to, and then obviously continue to develop this to become wiser and wiser, right? That's what we want to do, and more loving and more kind, and see more clearly. Yes, so let's have a look at, we're moving into approaching, and approaching is... it speaks about leadership. So what's with this, with the changing? I think it's like speaking about what is to come. If we are really working, so there is only the present moment, right? Anything that is speaking about what is to come, and what is the past, like the course. This is the past. This is what sort of brought us into that. We cannot change, right? That's already been. right? We can just look at it and see, okay, and understand it, and then start to remedying it, working on it in the present moment. And then if we are following this guidance here, then this is what we could very well see in the future, right? And these also go hand in hand. It can go sort of talking about returning, like it could be, you know, this is the strongest energies at the moment here in the present moment. But it was also what it's changing. And this one, what it's talking about, so it's talking about we're going to work on this advance, to start to make an advance, but we need to do that with wisdom. And then in order to do that, we need this self-leadership. We need to become a great leader, and we have to become a great leader for ourselves first. If we can lead ourselves well, then we can lead others as well. But if you cannot even lead yourself, then you cannot lead anyone else. We must understand ourselves before we are even trying to lead other people. And I think this is the problem with the world. Most leaders have no idea to even lead themselves. They don't understand the concept, right? And then we have leaders that can't even lead themselves. And then of course it's chaos in the world, right? So we are looking at things from the wrong perspective, and we must always start with ourselves. But the approaching is also speaking about actually the time is approaching when we are truly stepping in to what our soul is calling out for, right? What is our soul purpose? What is our duty in this lifetime? What we are coming here to establish, to do, to create, to share with the world, right? So the time is approaching, and it's calling here from the future, saying it's coming, but you need to develop this self-leadership and then start to make these steps, right? Because nothing is ever going to come to you unless you take the steps. They don't come. Things don't come to you. You approach them. You are advancing towards them, and then they can approach you, right? It's about a giving and taking. And right now, here the approaching is speaking about developing self-leadership, and it's so that we can lead others as well. And then, so that's I think that's the reading of today, right? The cause have been that we have been blocked. Although we have been making strides forwards, we definitely stepped into a new cycle, and we have stepped into, and we are starting to make progress, but we constantly keep on being blocked, right? And that's usually from within, that we still have carrying patterns from the past, like old patterns that we need to eliminate, right? And we've been guided to eliminate. Constantly we have a lot of eliminating coming out in the past readings, right? This big, and we still have that, but now as this is the underlying energy, right? But at the present moment we are actually advancing. We're starting to take these steps forward. This is the correct time, right? The blockages are actually dissolving here. We are leaving them behind, and then we are now working on getting the heaven and earth to unite, and they are uniting. So earth is descending and heaven is ascending and uniting. So we are uniting, and same thing with self-leadership. We need to unite within, right? All the energies within us, and unite within ourselves and start to look after ourselves. Create harmony within, to create this solid, harmonious, loving, joyous center, so we can share this on our path forward. And then because we are supposed to become great leaders, and we must start to develop great self-leadership, okay? And that's the reading of today. Yeah, I hope it was of benefit to you, and I am wishing you a beautiful day ahead.